Hey, what's up everybody? BDF 44 coming at you with another video. Alright, so I'm headed down to get what I need to get to pay who I need to pay. You know how that goes. So very fortunate that my GR came through this week. Same week that I had T-Mobile take an extra $50 out of my account that I didn't know they were taking. But I prayed the Lord that he would make it so that I have what I need without having to ask my uncle for extra money, since I had told him I had enough. It was just gonna be like, man. But nope, GR finally came through. So I'm gonna go take some of that from GR and some of it from the money that he gave me, and then just keep a little bit in both. That's how I do it. So that's how that's gonna go this week. But hopefully I don't have any trouble getting it out of ATM with the GR. I know I ain't gonna have no problem getting it out from the other account, but the GR, it will be my first time doing it. But I think the pin has already been set, so I should be fine with that. But yeah, man, I was, just sitting here thinking about how I made this last video and how proud I am for being strong enough to have kind of come to these conclusions. My relationship with my faith in God is strong enough to come to these conclusions. And while I don't want to lose my friend Kay, I do have to be willing to let her go away and be what she wants to be away from me. If I don't have any choice, I got to be able to live with that without any bitterness attached to my spirit or any bad vibes. You don't want that to carry over into your next situation. You don't want to take what went wrong here and have you thinking that you're something else that isn't otherwise the case in life, in regards to how you interact with people, anything like that, carrying baggage from this having not gone the way I wanted it to. But I just think it's about your willingness. If you guys check out my video, I encourage you all to do that. But it's just about your willingness to let people go, not necessarily about whether or not they're gone. It's just not allowing that attachment that you felt that hurts you and hurts them in whatever way it does to bring you any more harm, right? That's what I think it's really about. If she wants to do anything in life, she shouldn't have to have resistance from somebody that's not actually in her life. And while I couldn't identify that properly because of how I interact with everybody, which is distant, this helped me remind myself of how different I am. I don't know anybody, even my own siblings. I know her more than I know my own siblings. You know what I mean? That's because I'm not close to them. I'm not close to her. But as it pertains to the distance that I'm used to being in people's lives, I am close to her. So it's like, she got a real life, man. Real people around her all the time. She's a regular human being in that way. I'm not. And so I just got to accept the fact that me being away from her, makes it so that she doesn't know me that well. Makes it so that maybe that's not enough and she'll need to find that in her life. Hell, it ain't enough for me either, to be honest with you, to just have somebody in your phone. But I never intended for it to stay that way. I just never thought that I fit in her real life right now. I thought that maybe because of my situation, she probably, there's not a real path to that. So that was my problem. But it was like, I'm comfortable with this because we're getting closer this way. But regardless of what the case may be, it just becomes a situation where you got to have some self-awareness about your own difference in regards to how I view people, specifically myself, how I view distance and what is enough and what everything isn't versus what it really is. So I don't know if that has anything to do with her point of view. I don't really know. It has more to do with the dream that I had than anything that she's actually conveyed to me. But the dreams, when you're a spiritual person like me, you take them seriously. You read into them. Sometimes they mean different things than what you take from them. Sometimes they mean different things than what they, sometimes they mean nothing. Sometimes they mean different things than what they seem or whatever. But in this case, I just felt like there was so much for me to learn. So much for me to absorb and not be in denial about, regardless of what's going on her side of the world and her fence. For me, it's just knowing that I was holding on to her and that my mood swung with whether or not I was in communication with her pretty much for the last year. If we're talking, I'm doing great, even if I'm not doing great. If we're not talking, I'm doing bad, even if everything's fine. It's like, that is way out of whack. That's not how she feels. That's not what she asked for. That's not what she did anything to gain in any way. And so it's like at some point in time, a grown man, 39 years of age, has to just understand where he's messing up when you let somebody have that kind of power and they're not even in your life. It's not even about just, oh, my mental health is bad. Nah, you just got to get your spirit right. And so that's when I've come to turn myself. I can get my spirit right. And then I can be worthy of whatever the Lord wants to bring into my life, even if it is her in this way. Even if he does want me to get close to her. It can't be under these pretenses. Not while I'm like this. not while I'm like this. And so that's kind of what she was essentially conveying. Like, yo, you doing too much in my inbox. Can you stop blowing my inbox up, fam? It's like, yo, for me it hurt. But I think I needed all of this realization to come so that I could stop. Like literally just not need that. Need to convey everything. Even now I'm struggling with the need to send her the video that I just made saying that I'm not going to worry about, needing to reach out to her no more. It's like at some point in time, that has to come into play. It can't just be words. And so I want to send her that video so she'll know what her absence is doing for my development as a person. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know if that's what the Lord really wants. Am I just continuing that process by being intent on sending her the video? I don't know. I really don't know, but I know that nothing is done overnight. That's the point that I'm going to tell myself and believe. That even though I've come to this newfound understanding, it's not just about having that understanding. It's about working that into play over time and a temperament of finding some normalcy that maybe has not been present because of how I've been interacting with others or lack thereof, because of how I don't date and don't find myself doing things that are normal in their activities to make it so that I'm not just focused on her all the damn time. And while she's not focused on me like that. And it's not that she's done anything wrong. It's just that I have too much focus on her than what would be normal for our interactions. And so that's spiritual health and mental health growth that this has taught me. And while I love my friend a lot and will continue to love her deeply for as long as I live, I don't need to be doing all of this in the presence of not being able to deliver on courting her properly, on being there for her in certain ways, on being able to understand her and what she needs from me or what she doesn't in terms of my energy, being more positive about certain things that matter to her, not knowing her family well enough to speak on certain things. It's just a lot of stuff. It's like, yo, if you ain't gonna reel that in, you're definitely not the person she needs to be with, regardless of what it is that you feel. And so that's what this has taught me. Is like, I ain't the right guy because I haven't developed into the right guy for not only her, but for anybody else, so long as I'm struggling with these things. And so I think this is what the Lord is helping me through. I'd like for all of this is for me to be in a space where I'm getting what it is the Lord wants for me. In my natural mind, I hope that has to do with her. I want it to be her. And I've been praying a great deal for it to be her. But if for some reason God has something greater for her than me, or if for some reason I have to lose her completely to get this understanding, what am I supposed to do? But be pleased with what the Lord is doing so that he can work on me the way he wants to. So that's really what I gotta say, man. Going on in, gotta grab what I gotta grab, and of course I have something for you when I get out of here. BDF 44. Thank y'all for watching.